Hi and welcome everyone to today's Physics Forum. I'm Thi Beng Chiu, will be the moderator for today's forum. First of all, I would like to thank to all of you for attending this forum, and our topic for today is about hydropower. Let me introduce our panelists for today. For panel number one, we will be conducted by Mohammad Noor Shahid bin Khairuddin and followed by second panel, which is Brian Ian Lee, and third panel is Ahmad Dennis bin Azman. Without wasting our time, let's start our forum. As we know, hydropower is water power. It also called as hydroelectric. Panel number one, can you share more information about that to us? Thank you.
All right. Thank you to our moderator, Ms. T. I would like to intro to you about hydropower. As we know that hydropower known as water power, also called hydroelectricity. It is use of falling or rapidly flowing water to generate electricity or power machine. This is because water source gravitational potential or kinetic energy into water. We also know that hydropower is method of producing renewable energy because hydropower has renewable energy source for irrigation and the operation of medical devices such as grist mill, sawmills, textile mills, and so on. And now we know that hydropower is now primarily used for hydroelectric power generation, but it also used as one of a pump storage hydroelectricity system, and one of the most advantaged hydropower is an appealing alternative to fossil fuels because it does not emit carbon dioxide or other pollutants into atmosphere and provide a relatively consistent source of power. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you for your explanation, Mr. Shahid. Hydropower are most widely used renewable energy source of electricity for many years. There are many countries use hydropower technology to produce electricity. Can one of you state any issue regarding uses of hydropower?
Thank you to our moderator, Misty, and thank you to Mr. Shahir to intro our topic today, hydropower. Now I want to talk about the issue of hydropower. They have two issues that I was found in this topic, hydropower. The first issue hydropower is land use. Storage and pump hydropower plant cause land use reservoir. This issue use appeared by raising a water level in undating land. Besides, land use also caused by the construction of infrastructure, including power line, access road. However, some hydropower reservoir can look natural, but there are human influence. And if the land has been flowed for the formation, this could have an effect on terrestrial habitats. The second issue that I found is ecosystem. This issue also caused by grazing hydropower. Grazing hydropower is the potential effect on biodiversity, such as disruption of freshwater ecosystem, destruction of water quality, especially fish in the river which pass through turbines can be seriously harmed. Dams block fish from moving along their natural pathway between feeding and spawning ground, because interruption in their life cycle that limit their ability to reproduce. Dams also slow down the flow of the river. Many fish species, such as salmon, depend on the steady flow to the flush them downriver early in their life and gut them upstream years later to spawn. Thank you. Just all I share for this part.
Thank you, panel, to Mr. Brian. Your explanation were very interesting. Now we are clear about hydropower issues. We can move on to the challenge. Any panelist can share your input.
Okay, now I will share about the challenge in hydropower electric plant. So based on my research, I found that the main issue is a land use in hydropower, and the challenge is to construct the dam we need requires a huge quantum of land. So the people who live surround the area will be affected. In that case, the people will face the losing of their house, land, farm, and the source of food. So the challenge is the developer need land use plan. We can see in the new China and in Nepal, there no plan use, no land plan use in the to construct the dam. So we can see the many problem had been. So the second is ecosystem. The most effect is aquatic life. We can see most of the dam when they construct, when they construct the dam, they're not storing the fishes, so the fish cannot live in the same area. They need to move around. So the developer need to make a new way for fish to move to other place or transfer it to the other ocean or the river. That's all the challenge I found.
Thank you, Mr. Ahmad Dennis. Hydropower used as renewable energy for many years. So what is the innovation in hydropower? Can some of you share the opinions or suggestions?
So the innovation that I heard and I read in the journal, some journal and article is a dam. A dam is a long time innovation that we use. So the first known dam to be built is in the Java Dam in Jordan, was constructed around 3,000 years ago. But this dam is not for the hydroelectric, it is for control flood and for the water source. The dam is providing a lasting supply of water for human irrigation and hydroelectric. In Malaysia, the oldest dam was constructed on the early 1920s in Tasik Cendor, Kolokasta, Perak, and we call it a Cendor Power Station or Cendor Dam. This dam gives more advantage than disadvantage. The advantage that I said earlier is provide a lasting supply of water for human irrigation, hydroelectric, and control flood. But the advantage that will be problem is cost. It require a high cost to construct it and maintenance. In the long term, the maintenance need to be checked. So they need they need the cost to maintenance. So for Brian and Shahai, do you have any ideas or suggestion to be shared other than
Thank
that?
you for Mr. Ahmad Demis. And your idea is actually attractive me, but I have another suggestion for this innovation. I suggest innovation for run of the river, because run of the river have no water storage facility, but may use a low level dams to increase the difference between the water intake level and the turbine. In this case, the natural river flow generate electricity, and the amount of power generated fluctuate depending on the cycle of the river. Here, I have two advantages for this innovation run of the river. The first is cleaner power and fewer greenhouse gases. Run of the river hydroelectric plant do not have a reservoir, thus eliminating the methane and carbon dioxide emission caused by the decomposition of organic matter in reservoir of conventional hydroelectric dam. This is particular advantage in tropical country, where methane generation can be a problem. The second advantage is less flooding. Without a reservoir, flooding to the upper part of the river does not take place. As a result, people remain living to the near of the river, and existing habitat are not flooded. Any pre-existing pattern of flooding will continue unaltered, which present a flood risk to the facility and downstream area. Just all I want to share. So what do you think for Mr. Shahir? What do you think for two innovation? Do you have any idea for this?
Okay. Thank you to Mr. Brian and Mr. Ahmad Danish. I agree with both of your innovation, but I would like to share my idea innovation is current. We know that current is work similarly to a wind turbine, but underwater. Because we know that water is denser than air, and water moving at a given speed will produce much more power than that generated by a comparable wind speed. However, the turbine itself must be stronger, and therefore, we know that current is more expensive than like wind turbine in the air. But before we want to buy this current, we must know the environmental impact of current turbines is not clear. It could harm fish population, but fish safe turbine has been developed. Okay, as example, we can take a look at the United States has many potential sites where current generation could occur, and several projects are underway, including those in East River in New York and the San Francisco Bay. Right. So I would like to ask to our moderator, which part, what do you think with three panelists' suggestion for innovation hydropower, and which one you prefer and what the reason?
Okay, in my view, I am more prefer with the idea given by Mr. Ahmad Danish compared to other panelists because Mr. Ahmad Danish' idea we know that them can help us to generate more electricity faster and consistently. If we compare to the solar, wind, and geothermal energy, it can be used and generate the largest share of renewable energy in the world. Okay, thank you for all the panelists. We enjoyed all the part of the forum. Thanks to you guys, we received a lot of the knowledge about hydropower. And we will end our forum now.